Hey guys, it's October, which means Halloween, which means it's time to resurrect Uncle Dave. Hi, I'm Jeff, and I'm legally blind. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. Yeah, Halloween is seriously one of the funnest holidays out of the year. I love it. It's so cool. You get to be creative. You get to be whatever the heck you want to be. Young kids love it. Old kids like me love it. And like I said, you get to be creative. So Uncle Dave is something that I kind of just thought of. I've seen people do decorations where they stuff clothes and they sit them on chairs, and that's cool. I do that too. I like that, but I kind of wanted like a life-sized scary dude that was standing up, and that's what he was. He was just standing up, and you couldn't tell how he was standing. So I kind of thought of this idea. Show you how I did it. Okay, so the first thing that had to be done to create Uncle Dave was to find some clothes and put them together. Now this actually works better with overalls, but I couldn't find any overalls in any of the secondhand stores around here at the time. So I just got a button-up shirt and a pair of my old jeans and sewed them together. Actually, my mom sewed them together. Thanks, Mom. And stuffed him with straw and tied off the ends of the arms here, tied off the ends of the jeans, and let me show you here. To make him freestanding, I drilled a hole. If you look over here, I drilled a hole in the bottom of his shoe, and I bought an 8-foot piece of rebar. And so the rebar starts down here and goes all the way up his leg to his neck, which I've got a 2x4 in here to create his shoulders. I've got a 2x4, standing up that connected to his shoulders in order to make his head. And I've got just Walmart bags or whatever kind of plastic bags to give the shape of his head. And I put the mask over him. And did I forget anything? That's pretty much it. I mean, well, the 2x4 here, when he stands up, actually sits on the end of the rebar. So you have the other end of the rebar right here, and when he's standing up, this sits on the rebar just like that, and that's how he ends up staying up. And he's good. He weathers the storms. We've had some good windstorms, and he's good. He stays up the entire season that he's up. So I guess nothing left to do but get him up. Let's go, Uncle Dave. So this year, something new that I did was I actually put tin foil in his eyes, because I usually have like a ground light that shines up at him when it's dark, and so the reflection of the light off of the tinfoil might look kind of cool. So we're going to try that out this year. And also the 8-foot section of rebar that I said that I bought, I actually had to cut a couple feet off of it because there's no way I'm going to be able to pound in 4 feet of rebar into the ground. So I took a hacksaw and I cut off probably 2 feet worth of the rebar. So now it's a 6-foot length of rebar, and about 2 feet-ish goes into the ground. And that's what keeps him, up straight. See how far we got to go. It's actually kind of funny because when we first started, Emily, who's behind the camera now, thanks Emily, I had to get her on my shoulders because the rebar was like way up there and I couldn't reach it. So she got on my shoulders, sitting on my shoulders, and she had to whack it down a little bit so I could reach it. So, teamwork. Almost there. Oh, I think we're there. Almost. So this shoe doesn't need any support. That thing of rebar is going all the way up his leg, all the way to his neck. So that's giving him all the support that he needs. So this, his left leg right now is just freestanding, and that's all it needs. So you just put a shoe under it, and it looks like he's standing up. So it's been a year, obviously, since last Halloween. So he needs a little bit of work, as you can tell. His shoulders, you know, they're kind of square because, you know, the straw is falling down. His chest is a little empty, so I'm going to have to go to the store. I'm going to have to pick up some more straw to kind of help him fill out. But that actually reminds me of the first time we put him up. Some friends of the family, they got some kids, and they were over here helping me put him up. And one of the kids, Daniel, I don't know, he was like 10, maybe he was 10 years old at the time. It was hilarious because Dave was kind of just slouching, and I needed him to I needed him to be put up a little bit more. So Daniel comes back here, and he's like, no problem, grabs his butt, and he's like bottoms up and just lifts him up. Lifts him up. That was hilarious. And then over here, Daniel helped put straw in his pockets because he needed to be filled out a little bit here. And he's like, there, now his hips really don't lie. Genius. Daniel, genius. Nothing's holding him up, right? One minor detail, we lost his hands. So I'm gonna have to go to the store and get him some new gloves, but I'd have to say I miss you, Uncle Dave. It's good to have you back, buddy. I just thought of something else. The very first night I put Uncle Dave up was epic. Like the next morning, I was woken up at 6:30 in the morning, somewhere around there, because I heard just these high-pitched screams that were right here on the street. And as soon as I heard the screams, I heard running away. And it was, you know, neighborhood kids that were going to the bus stop. And apparently Uncle Dave just did his job and scared the living crap out of them. And you know, I'm not a morning person. I don't like waking up early in the morning. But all I could do was laugh because it's what he's there for.
Hey Jeff, why is his name Dave?
Oh yeah, that's another good story. So Dave, like I said earlier, there were some neighborhood kids that were helping put him up. And Daniel's sister is named Megan. Hi, Megan. And she just said Dave. His name's Dave. I don't know if that was just the first name that she thought of, but then she started calling him Uncle Dave, and it stuck. So he's Dave. Dave Grigger. Which, if you think about that, it fits perfectly. Like, she just said Dave, and then my brother thought of his last name, Grigger. Now, if you guys know what a Spoonerism is, that's like, if you have two words, you switch the first letters of the words. So if you say, you hear people say, let's get this party started, that becomes, let's get this starty parted. So if you take Dave Grigger and Spoonerize it, it becomes Grave Digger. Which reminds me too, we got to get his shovel, because that's what he is. He's a grave digger. But Dave Grigger is a grave digger. Found his shovel. And as a temporary fix for his hands, I put some gloves on there. These are not saying, these are definitely temporary because these are my snowboarding gloves. And Uncle Dave doesn't snowboard as far as I know. He's more of a fall kind of guy. overpriced in a store, but look at that. I found some straw for Uncle Dave. Pump him up a little bit. It has literally gone from shorts and t-shirt 80-degree weather to pants and hoodie 50-degree weather overnight. So, and yes, I did end up buying one of these little miniature microscopic bales of straw because I needed it. It was, I mean, this thing was, they charged $5 for this thing at the store. And I remember when I first filled up Uncle Dave with straw, I got one of those big full-size bales of straw at a farmer's market for, it was either like $6 or $8, but so I'm gonna have to crack open Uncle Dave's chest and do a little work on him, beef him up a little bit. But hey, don't worry, Dave. This is gonna hurt me a lot less than it hurts you. You just keep smiling. You got this. All right, looking a little bit better there, Dave. So rounded off his shoulders a little bit. I mean, you know, it's a 2x4 in there, so they're not going to be perfect, but shoulders are a little bit more rounded. Put a little bit more on his chest, so it at least looks like he's had a couple of meals. But for his hands, I kind of got an idea. I'm not going to use my snowboarding gloves on him because we went over that. He's more of a fall guy. He doesn't like snowboarding, but I got an idea to do hands. And I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and then I'll come back and we'll check it out. Hey, come to think of it, I guess his shoulders are pretty perfect, because if he's just a skeleton, he's not gonna have awesomely round shoulders anyway. Is it just me, or is Dave looking a lot happier now that he's got hands? I think they turned out pretty good. So what I did was I took some latex gloves, and I cut the fingers off about halfway or so, and stuck some sticks through the holes, and I had to like tie them in a way that they wouldn't fall out, and yeah, that was actually a little bit more difficult than it sounds. It took a bit longer, but then I took some spray paint, got some white spray paint, painted them white, and I think they match his bony looking face now. I think they turned out pretty good. So Uncle Dave's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna wait until dark, because I kind of want to show him to you when it gets dark with the spotlight on him. It's pretty cool looking. All right, is it just me, or is that like creepy as all get out? I think it looks freaking sweet. Imagine driving by just kind of leisurely and looking up and seeing that. How about that? How's that look on strobe? Yeah, so let me know what you guys think of Uncle Dave in the comments, and let me know if you like the solid light better or the strobe. And I hope the strobe is easily visible on the video. I guess I'll find out for sure when I edit it, but I hope you guys can see that. It's kind of cool. But let me know which one looks better, the solid light or the strobe. It's getting kind of late, so I can't be too loud out here, but I just kind of wanted to show you the rest of the setup. So these obviously are not homemade, but we've got some spider web going over that bush up to the doorway of the garage and stuff. And over here, lining the left part of the walkway going up to the door, I bought these skulls a few years ago, and those are pretty cool looking. Those work really well right there, I think. And over here, kind of got a tombstone going on, and we're thinking about probably burying some shoes halfway, maybe with like the toes sticking up so it looks like a shallow grave or something, and maybe a couple more tombstones and a strobe light would be kind of cool. And also thinking about probably next year, maybe on the right side over here, making a cheap just kind of wood box for like a coffin, and laying in there, and when kids come up, jump out and scare the crap out of them. So I've actually done that. I've been a zombie for several years in one of the haunted houses around, and haunted corn maze, and haunted hayride. So that's really fun. I've been on both sides of it. Going through haunted houses is fun, and being the person that scares people going through is really fun too. So it's kind of where I got that idea. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to show you the rest of the setup here. So that's what we got going on this year. Quick correction about the length of the rebar that I used for Uncle Dave. I actually bought a 10-foot section and cut it down to an 8-foot section. Because if it was a 6-foot section, like I said previously, then Emily wouldn't have had to get on my shoulders and help pound it down. So yeah, 10 feet, cut it down to 8 feet. And that's what I used, was an 8-foot section. Details. So that's what I've got for Halloween this year. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure enjoyed myself because I love Halloween. It's so much fun. And if you guys have any cool, fun Halloween stories that you care to share, let me know about them in the comments. I'd love to read it. I might not be posting anything for a couple of weeks or so because I'm about ready to go on a trip, and I'm not exactly sure how good or reliable the internet's going to be there. But, yeah, so it might be like, 2.5 weeks or something like that. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of footage from the place that I'm going, so I'm going to have a lot of videos from there. And it should be pretty cool because it's going to be a lot different than where I'm at now in Michigan. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching. And when life gets you down, stand up and overcome. And I'm going to be flying for 20 hours. That's going to be exhausting.